How would you like an absolute beginner knitting project that only takes 40 grams of scrap yarn and does not involve joining countless pieces? Try one with me. Here we go, my friends. This is what you can use for this scrap yarn project. I think that the ideal yarn is a chunky yarn, a self-strapping one or ombre. This ball is the leftover of my signature poncho, the one in pink that I showed you in the last video. And as you can see, I have many of these balls because I make many of those ponchos. I always use the leftovers from the ponchos to make this really, really cool and fancy ear warmer. You need a 6.5 millimeters knitting needle. If you have a tight tension, you can go up to 7, and if you have a loose tension, you can go down to 6 millimeters. You need something to cut the yarn, and you need a tapestry needle to sew the two ends of the rectangle that we are going to knit at the end. I can prove it to you that you need very little yarn for this project. As you can see, this is less than 40 grams. I'm gonna record myself to show you how little it takes to finish this project from start to finish. Let's cast on 16 stitches. Let's make a knot. I do it in a very simple way. And I use the short tail method. Put the knot on the needle, then go under your thumb and under the first tail, then above the second tail and twist around it and come up from the first tail. That's 2 stitches on the needle. Let's do it again. Under the first tail, the one closer to you, go towards the second tail, the farthest to you, twist around it, come back into the, let's call it hole that you have under the first tail, and pull. Don't pull too much, otherwise the first row will be very, very tight. Let's do it again together. We have 5 stitches now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good to have some tail because we can use it to sew the two ends together at the end of the project. And then here is the magic. We do slip the first stitch and we knit from the second stitch to the end. So we pass the needle under the stitch from the side that is closer to you to the other side, then you yarn over and pull the needle back. Again, from the front to the back, yarn over and pull it back towards you. And this is all you have to do until the end. When you finish, you switch the needles. You can use the straight needles, and the circular needles is exactly the same. Again, use the lip, the first stitch, and then you knit all of the other stitch from the front to the back of the stitch, yarn over, pull it back towards you. Insert at the bottom, in the front, yarn over, pull it back towards you. And you just keep going until you reach the desired length for the earwarmer. The desired length should match the circumference of your head or the head of the person the earwarmer is for. If you don't know what the measurements are, on average, an adult's head circumference is approximately 54 centimeters. I will knit on my own now, and then I will be We are back. I'm nearly done. I measured it against my head. We are nearly there. I think I will probably add maybe a row or two before casting off and showing you how to cast off. This is a very stretchy stitch, the garter stitch, so you don't really need to reach any exact precise length, just measure it against your head. And if I were to choose, I would leave it a little bit shorter rather than any longer than the circumference of your head, because it might get loose, too loose when you wear it, okay? So keep it eventually a bit shorter rather than longer than your head. This is my last row, and now we are going to cast off. To cast off, since I prefer to knit the first stitch just to make the corner more defined. Then you need the second stitch. You go back to the first stitch and you pull it over the second stitch and you drop it. Then you need another stitch. Go back to the stitch already on the needle, cross it over and drop it. Knit, go back to previous stitch, grab it, cross it over and drop it. And we do it all the way. Knit, go back to previous stitch, grab it, cross it over and drop it. Try not to pull too much, otherwise it shrinks and it loses its shape. So not to lose either, but not too much, okay? I think here the yarn split and probably I lost half of it, so I'm going back. These things happen with these worsted yarns. Okay. The difficulty is also to keep the camera between my eyes and the needles. Nearly there. Are you excited to see what it looks like? Okay, last stitch. You pull it. I'm gonna check. I think that I have enough to sew, so I don't need very much here. We are going to make sure that we have enough to weave in the tail properly, so that the earworm doesn't unravel when you wear it, okay? But we don't need too much, so we can fasten off. Just cut. And as you can see, we even have a little bit of yarn left. That is probably going to be used for something else. In terms of length, this is good for my head, okay? You may need more, you may need less, maybe if you are doing this for a child. This is 50 centimeters, which is approximately 20 inches. And now I show you how to create the earwormer. So you fold this in two, like this, in the length direction, fold in two, then fold in two in the width direction, Then here, where I have the longer tail, the one that I'm going to use to sew, I'll leave this on the outside, and the other half, I'll sandwich it between the other two halves, like this. This is on the outside. Adjust it, make sure that you have all the corners very visible, because you need to sew them to catch them all when you sew. Okay, so this is the tail that I'm going to weave in, and this is the one that I'm going to use to sew. So I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to take my tapestry needle, and I'm going to make sure that I grab all of the stitch, all the 4 layers, above all with this 4th stitch. Another very good thing of this project is that this is going to be completely hidden, which means you don't have to be particularly good at sewing to do a good work. And if you are an absolute beginner, I would say that you can go with the whip stitch, which is probably the easiest one. But if you have the patience, maybe this could be a good occasion to maybe practice a little bit more complicated stitch. That's your choice. Any stitch is good, okay? So let's go quickly with a whip stitch. Again, make sure that you grab all the 4 layers. We are nearly done. This is the last stitch. And just to make it even more secure, I'm gonna knot the 2 ends together 2 or 3 times. Now, if you trust that it won't come undone, you could even cut it here, which I think I'm gonna do, so that we save a little bit of time. Or you can weave with your needle, you can weave the yarn in to hide it, but this is gonna be in the center of the back of the ear warmer, so nobody will see this. And it will not come undone. Et voila! Your ear warmer is ready. Isn't it lovely? And we did it in 1 hour and 12 minutes. Good job, us. I'm gonna try it on and show to you how it looks like when you wear it. And this is what it looks like when you wear it. What do you think? I love it. I love the colors. I love the shape. I love everything of it. I love how easy it is to make it, how quick it is to make it, how I can use the scrap yarn without having to come up with some genius projects. And it keeps you warm instead of a hat, above all when you wear short hair. Love it. Do you love it too? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more from me, please hit the like button and subscribe, and you will not miss any other video. Bye bye now. See you soon.